you don't put them back in like this? And I just couldn't figure out what was wrong with them. And I figured it out about an hour ago. Do you see these? I'm out of here. I'm Tom, and this is my 50-year-old 1974 Silent Hoist forklift. And in the last video, I got it running great with a new carburetor muffler. But braking is still a problem. There's fluid leaking around the wheels. I believe I still have air trapped in the brake line somewhere. It barely stops, and I put up with it long enough. So today, I'm gonna crack it open and finally see what's going on. Whether it's bad brake cylinders, bad lines, or something worse, it's time to finally get this old forklift to stop as well as it runs. So let's jump in, see what's wrong, and get it fixed. I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to find in here. But I know this. We're about to find out. Okay. One more wheel here. There we go. Now I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have any idea how that comes off. But it looks like there's a retaining clip there, so let's start with that. Well, maybe that's not a retaining clip. Maybe they just come off. I've never had these drums off, so I'm not sure how they come apart. Gotta be some hint on here. I really do think that they just, I think they just pop off. I gotta say, not sure how these come apart. So I did what any self-respecting backyard mechanic would do. I grabbed a hammer and started pounding on it. Well, that didn't work, so I decided let's grab another tool and beat on it again. And not surprisingly, that also didn't work. Definitely don't want to break them. I know that. The way I'm pounding on this thing, you'd never know that I didn't want to break it. And the other two haven't worked, so the logical conclusion is, let's hit it in a different place. Which, surprisingly, well, that doesn't work either. Well, everything that I see here tells me that these just slide off. And they're just probably rusted on. So. Remember earlier when I said I had absolutely no idea how these came off or what I was doing? Well, I'm really demonstrating that here. This doesn't work either, but I'm on to bigger and better things, which also won't work either. So let's sit back and enjoy the humor. My theory is this is rusted on right in through here, and that it just needs to be broken loose. Watching myself as I edit this video really is comical. I mean, I was absolutely committed to the fact that that hub slid off there. Even though now looking at it, it's pretty obvious that it doesn't. You got to pull the axle first. My only saving grace was the fact that it started to rain. Yep, this is not good. All right, let's get inside. I'm going to have to do a little research and try to figure out what's going on, but the rainstorm's coming in. So for now, I'm out. I'm going to go get a bigger puller, do something, I don't know, but I'm going to figure out something to get that thing off. I'll be back. Like the country song says, rain's a good thing. And for me, I was able to find out that there's an axle that's got to come out. So I removed the center studs, got that off, then was able to remove the hub nut, which then allows the full assembly to come off. Slides right out of there. Look at that. One axle out. All right. Rust and stuff down in there. Of course, it probably from all of this. Woo! I don't know if you can see this, but that is really shiny. That's not good. I knew I had some issues there, but I didn't realize they were that bad. This nut has got to come off here so that I can pull this whole drum. Jeez. I went out and picked up a 3.5 inch 6-point bearing hub nut or wheel hub nut wrench. Picked that up. I'm going to attach it to the torque wrench and try to get the torque spec on what this had going on to it. Not sure if it's right, but I'm going to try it anyways. And then I'm probably going to have to do a little research to figure out exactly what this axle is and the parts that I need, because I think when I've got it apart, I'm probably going to go ahead and rebuild the brakes on it, check the bearings, may end up replacing the bearings as well. So let's get this hub nut off. All right, I've got this set on 250 foot-pounds, which I don't think that that's what it's going to take to get it off, but it should give me a reading. Well, it doesn't. I thought I had looked to see if this was tagged in any way, or if there was anything on here that that was bent over. No, those aren't bent over. So I'm not sure what this is going to take, but we're going to find out. Wow. This is kind of crazy. Ooh. All right, we got a little bit of movement. This is good. Okay. Here we go again. Oh yeah, there we go. Beautiful. It's off. I'm gonna have to look up the torque specs on this, because whatever it is, it's a lot. All right, there we go. Off. So once I got the bolt off, or the nut off, then I have this that I need to try to get off of there. Oh, okay, it just pulls out. Kind of what I thought, but you never know. Okay, so we got that. Now it looks like, oh, I've got another nut in here. So that was a lock nut that was in there. That's why it was so tight. All right, that makes sense.
What have you done now?
So I just got everything pulled apart.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Which is,
doing a wheel
you know,
bearing.
it's like the small stuff. No, I'm doing brakes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, these are big and heavy.
Yeah, you gotta take the axle off.
Yep. Would you like some assistance pulling the drum off?
Yes, I would.
You have some gloves or something here with you? Or?
Yeah, I do, as a matter of fact.
Since I'm here, I might as well help you at least pull the drum off the damn thing. Yeah. I know they're heavy.
Yeah, let's do this.
No, I'm not.
Here, you can get over on that side.
I'll get over on this side.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Did it move?
they might. Oh, yeah, they're
look
moving.
At you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's moving. Yeah.
Can you get back in there?
There you go. Okay.
Oh, look at that.
Okay. And from there.
Well, you know what the good news is? The brakes are greased really well.
Yeah. That's not really what they're supposed to be, but.
I know. You ready? Okay. Just go down.
Yep. These are normally oiled bearings, I think, not greased.
Well, yeah, this leaks.
Okay.
So.
Oh, we put one of these in the dirt here.
Ah, okay.
That'll have to get cleaned off.
Yeah. What? You mean you don't put them back in like this?
Yeah. So with these particular style of brakes.
Look at this. Look at this. We dropped this in the dirt. Oh man. All right. Well, my neighbor came by and Kevin and helped me get this off, which was wonderful. So now I'm glad I took this apart because this seal is completely blown off. So I'm going to rebuild the brake cylinders, probably redo the bearings, new seals on it. I got it apart, might as well go ahead and do it. So I'm just going to get this thing cleaned up and figure out what I need. And I'll come back after I've got all that done and probably have some new parts. So be back. Well, I don't know if you can see it earlier on the videos, but I have two broken studs here that I need to replace. And one is broken off fairly flat, and the other one has this lip on it. I don't know if you can see that, but I am actually going to try to get that down in there, and I'm going to try to hit that with the impact and see if I can't back that out. I don't think this is going to work. If it does, I will be shocked. If not, I've got some easy outs and some other stuff. Yeah, it's not working. I didn't think it would. I'm gonna have to punch and drill these and then easy out them. So I think I'll do the other one first. Only because it's a little flatter. So you can see this one's just off on the edge. So, all right, well, easy isn't going to work. All right, so full disclosure, I did not expect this to be easy. I'm just hoping it will be. Well, that was much softer than I thought it was going to be.
I went into this thinking it probably wasn't going to work and the studs weren't coming out easily, but I had to give it a try. And if not, just so I can stay focused on the project, I'll just send it up to a machinist up the street to get this finished.
Oh, damn it. That's exactly what I didn't want to have happen. I've taken a couple of days and I've done some research, figured out what I need for parts. And it's been quite the adventure. So I've got this side completely taken apart. You'll notice that this brake cylinder is gone. That one's still there. I've got new brake cylinders. I've got new bearings. I've got new seals. Basically, this is going to be a brand new brake system when I'm done. So I'm really happy to have that because some of the projects that I have coming up are going to require me to have a lot of control and pick up some pretty heavy parts. Today, I'm going to pull this off. Now you saw me struggle the last time, or on the other side, figuring out how this comes apart. Now that I know how it comes apart, I should be able to get it out fairly quickly. So let's jump in, get this done. Well, hopefully I've learned a little something from the other side, and this will go much quicker. Done. Woo! And you'll see that these are wet all the way around. So the cylinders are leaking. That should be dry, not wet. So it's a good thing that I'm doing this. We'll get this thing apart and make it right. Start pulling this thing apart. Cylinder. Man, look at all the grease on that. That is just insane. All that. That's nuts. Yep, well oiled and well greased. Okay, well I'm going to go ahead and get this cleaned up. Probably do some power washing on both sides to get both sides cleaned up. And then I'm going to go inside and clean up this hub and get ready to start putting everything back together. I don't know that I'll film any of that. So I'll be back in a little while after I get some of this power washing done. Well, I said I was going to go do the steam cleaning, but I'm not. I'm actually going to pull these I'm going to pull these studs out, separate everything here, and so that when I do the cleaning, I can clean this off as well. So let's drive these studs out, and this is actually 3 pieces. You'll see that in a minute. So here we go. All right, there we go. There we go. Now, and I'm replacing all this. Let's throw these out. Well, I'm not throwing them out, but putting them in the used parts bin. So this all looked like it was one hub, but it's actually 3, because there are 3 pieces. There's this piece on the inside, and then we have the drums separated. So yeah, there we go. I'm going to get all this stuff cleaned up, and we'll start doing some of the pressure washing outside so that we can start putting stuff back together. Let's go ahead and knock this bearing out of here. On the other piece of wood that I had that fit. Well, the other one just popped right out of there. See what this is doing on the other side. Well, that's just not hardly moving at all. Okay, let's get serious about this. Ow. That did not feel good. Thing does not want to come out of there. The other one just blew right out. There we go. One hub disassembled. Oh, I'm still waiting for the hub to get finished up and to get pull those studs. I could do it myself. I've got a milling machine. I just don't have time. And I've been chasing all the parts. Well, I have the parts. I have the bearings, the seals. This is the front of the hub where the axle goes. This is the back. Bearing sits in there. Seal goes in. I've got all brand new hardware for the wheels. And I've got the wheel cylinders. I've got the new brakes wheel cylinders. And I have been looking at, these brakes and wondering why were they so hard to bleed? And what can I do? Well, I went to take the other side off. I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna take them all the way down to a bare axle, which I have, down to a bare axle, okay? You'll see that, bare axle, there's the plate. I'll get to that in a minute. But I kept looking at these and I just couldn't figure out what was wrong with them. And I figured it out about an hour ago. Do you see these? They're not straight up and down. Every set of drum brakes I've ever seen in my life, you've got one or two and they're always straight up and down. Well, why is that? Well, I don't know if you can see this or not, but inside here, these two holes, they come out in that cylinder, okay? Which makes sense. These are your bleed holes. In the bottom one, you bring in your brake fluid, and in the top one, you crack it open and you bleed the cylinders. Genius way to do it. And it dawned on me about an hour ago. Look at the angle those are on. That means that instead of this sitting like that, it's sitting like this. So air rises. Guess where it's going? Up here. This is physically impossible to get all the air out of this. But wait, this is like a late night infomercial. It gets better. Look where that blade screw is. Oh my God. It's below the inlet line. Oh my God, I don't know why I didn't pick this up the first time I looked at it, but this was done wrong from the factory, or the Air Force changed it. So once I figured it out, I'm like, why? This can't sit like this and have the bleeder, this can't sit like this and have the bleeder coming in here. It's going to be half full of air. It's got to sit like this. The bleeder's got to be on the top. I'm like, well, I'll just pull the backing plate off. No worries, easy to do. No, nothing on this project is easy. See the backing plate? Do you see, here. Do you see those marks? Oh, some genius welded the backing plate to the axles. Oh my God, this is insanity. Not only, I mean, one, I don't know why they needed to weld the backing plate, but they did. They welded it in the wrong spot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this, and I'm gonna set it right there. And I'm gonna bolt that back on. I'm gonna put the brakes on. And this is finally going to be done the way it's supposed to. These brakes are gonna bleed the way they're supposed to. and this old girl is gonna run like a dream. So let's jump in, let's move this plate, let's get the other one undone, and make it right. Let's get these lines off. I think you'll be able to see that. So I'm just gonna loosen this up and pull this line off. And then I can pull the brakes, these brake cylinders, when I pull the bolts. Not a lot of room to work in here. Okay, that's off. That out of the way. Uh-oh. Didn't like twisting that. I mean, come on out of there. Okay. There we go. Okay, so the brake lines are off. Now let's pull off these hub nuts and just start getting the stuff out of the way. Well, you'll see that these bolts are out of here, and yeah, not going anywhere. That's because there's welds. There's one right here, there's one right there. So I'm gonna get the grinder out and get those ground off and get them off. All right, I am going to try to position this so that you can see where I'm grinding, but I don't know how much you're going to be able to see. Let's try though. So I've got two welds that I've got to get to, and the problem is where they are. I have no idea what you're going to be able to see, but I basically got to crawl under here and hit a weld there and hit a weld there. So let's give her a try.
I tried to figure out a better way to do this, but in the end, the only way to get these welds off was just to get down in there and grind it. I was being as careful as I could. I gotta say I was awful nervous. Having that grinder that close to my face, really, I was not comfortable with it. But I had to get it done, so I did what I did.
Boy, okay, it's still not coming off, but let's see if I can break it. Oh yeah. Broken. All right, I don't know if you can see the welds there and there. All of that just to turn that up into that position. So a lot of work for a small change. Let's get the bolts back in this thing and start putting it back together. Here we go, back together. Okay, back on. Next, let's get the brake cylinders on and get the brake lines back in it. Well, I'm this far into this brake project, so I am going to make new brake lines. Here's the existing ones. I pulled those off of the forklift. There were some areas where they had low spots. There were high spots. There were just areas where it was hard to bleed all the air out. So I'll show you in a while, but I actually drilled a 7/8 inch hole in that big C channel. It's what, half-inch C channel, half-inch thick, so that I can go through the C channel from the cylinders, from the slave cylinder where the brake pedal is, over to the hydrovac. I'll show you that when we get under the truck. But for now, we're going to make new brake lines. I appreciate you watching the video so far. I really thought this was going to be just a really quick brake refresh and I'm done. It's turned into much more than that. And as a result, the video's gotten a lot longer. So I just said I was going to make the brake lines, show you that. Well, I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to actually create a separate video of using the Harbor Freight Maddox pneumatic, I believe it's pneumatic, brake flanging tool. And I'll show you how that works and how to make that double flange so that you get a really good seal on your brake lines. I'll do a detailed video on that. I will post the link to that video down in the description when I get it done. It may take me a couple of days to actually get that video put together, but I will get that in there. So I'm not going to show building the brake lines in here. We're just going to move on to the next step. And before we get to that next step, I want to thank you for watching. It means a lot to me. So if you're enjoying this, go ahead and hit that like button and that subscribe button, especially the subscribe button. Well, both of them actually, but the subscribe button, because I gave you a little bit of a hint on what the next project is. I actually picked it up early in the video. Yep, that'll be our next project. That's going to happen real quickly. So make sure you subscribe so you get notified when that video comes out. Also, I'd really enjoy hearing your comments, hearing what you think of the projects, what you think I ought to be doing on some of my next projects, and just getting to know you a little bit better. So thank you for watching. Hit that like, subscribe button, make those comments. Now, the video, what are we going to do? Well, it's raining out, so I'm going to pivot a little bit on the brake lines, and I'm actually going to put the hubs together. The hubs are in 3 pieces, and I'm going to put those together, wait for it to stop raining, then I'm going to get underneath the forklift. We're going to put the brake lines in, get all that done, build everything up, get everything finished, bled, and then do a really fun test drive. Now, putting in the brake lines is really hard to film, so just bear with me a little bit for that. And we'll get through it, and we'll get the rest of this video done. Thanks again for watching. Let's dive back in and get this thing finished up. Right now, raining out. Not fun. Don't want to work in the rain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting everything together. I've got to put the hubs, the 3 pieces together. I have to grease bearings. I have all sorts of work to do. So I'm going to set the cameras up and just kind of get started. Just get this project going. So hopefully everything goes really smooth. The rain stops here in a little while. I can get everything ready to go, and then start putting stuff onto the forklift and finish this project up. So let's get started. So Conifer Machine Shop got these 3 broken studs out for me, which was wonderful. So let's get studs back in here. So I'm just going to put a little bit of WD-40 on these to try to get the threads so they don't bind up too terribly bad. Yeah, I really appreciate him getting this done. It's a small job, but it's important to me.
Okay, that is ready. The next step is to get this hub and that married together. Now the question is, do I put this, so it goes, this goes on, then this, and this sets down inside of it, and then the bearings go inside there. I think the best way to do this is to just put it together and put the bearings in later. I can pull them apart if I need to. Okay, so this is the right hand hub. All right, okay. And the reason I have to pay attention to right and left hand is I have right and left hand hardware, or nuts and studs. Okay, so 2 pieces. This goes in, and then I just drop in all the studs. Pretty simple. I'm going to get these down to the point where they're not going to pop off, and then I'll turn them over and pull them up tight with the lug wrench. Okay. Okay. They're in there good enough for now. So now that's kind of sort of in place. I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to pull them up tight. Whew, that's noisy. Wow. All right, let's see where I ended up here. Okay, everything's up nice and tight. I may get a little more out of it once I start tightening down the lug nuts when it's on the wheel, but for now, I think I'm good with that. Well, we're underneath the forklift now, and this line is going to go through this hole right there, which I just drilled. And before, and this is really going to be hard to see and explain, but up in there where this brake is, it came down low and then back up and was just a problem point. So by drilling this hole here and then coming straight across into that, that will give me a better result. Everything is dirty under here, so got to try to be careful to
get it to do what I want. That's gonna be tight. I think I can kind of get started with that. Once again, I know you can't see from that side, but I just don't have any way to set the camera up. Tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna turn off the camera because you can't see anything right now. And I'll come back in a few minutes when I get this done. Well, I'm hoping that camera doesn't fall over. I've got it sitting on the magnetic mount. And it's sitting on a piece of wood. So this, I've got to bend needs to get bent somewhere right in there. Right in there. It needs to get bent 90 degrees. So get the old school bender out. And get this thing bent. And that should bring it over the top. That should bring it over the top. No. Evidently I can't. My judgment's off a little bit, or my line of sight probably. Because that's not even close. That's okay. I'll straighten that back out. I'm a little short. It doesn't really matter. Come on. Okay. Oh yeah. That's beautiful. Holy cow, it may not be long enough though. Shit. Oh, goodness. I don't think this is gonna be long enough. Doggone it. Let me see if I can straighten this out a little bit. I had this coming straight across. And now, I'm gonna try to drop it down at a little bit of an angle. This might work. There we go. I'm gonna go over on the other side here and try to tighten this thing down a little bit. I don't know if you're going to be able to see anything or not. But let's give it a try. Yeah. I used the longer piece on the other side. Not smart. Hell, let's see, maybe this will work. Oh yeah. That's where I need to go, on the other side of that. Okay. Came on top of a hose that I actually wanted to go under. I'll be careful with these because they're just shedding dirt.
You can't see it here, but I'm basically working blind. From where I'm laying, I cannot see anything that I'm doing, so I'm doing this all by feel.
Oh yeah. Not sure what you can see up there, but this is a rather tedious tightening because I can just barely move it. Okay. All right. Got it. So that, hopefully you can see this line here goes down to the hydrovac, 1/4 inch. This 5/16 line comes up from the hydrovac, goes out, splits off. You'll see that it splits off, goes down, and then all the way into the brake cylinder. Man, I hope you can see this because I have worked hard on this one. Oh, that works. That works. Okay. Perfect. All right. Not very graceful, but that goes in there. That's not touching, and that goes up to the top. So now I'm going to go get the line that goes from here up to the bottom. I'll get that installed, and then it's time to start putting the all the parts on the brake plate. Snug that up. Okay. Well, now, I don't know if you can see this or not, but we've got the line coming in. Then we've got the line from the top to the bottom brake cylinder that comes up here to the top, and now I can bleed that. And as a result, I should be able to get all the air out of this. So I'm going to do the other side, and then I'll start putting the cylinders or the outsides together. Well, I've got the brakes assembled. They're ready to go. And you see that right there, that 1 inch thick? Well, I got myself in the head. I don't know if you can see that or not, but oh well. I've got this ready to go. That's all set. It's done. Other side's ready as well. Next step, get the rear bearings and seal in the hubs, and then put them into place and tighten them down. Then bleed brakes. Finished. All right, let's get on the hubs. Well, I've got everything prepped, ready to go on the hubs. Let me show you that real quick. Everything's prepped, ready to go. Everything's built, cleaned, and now, hold on. Okay, this is bad. That's some damn fine cinematography there. So, oh, and by the way, Tom's joining us again today. He needs better friends. So we're going to grab these hubs. We're going to bring them in. We're going to slide them into place, put a nut on them. Tom's going to help me bleed the brakes, and then I'll finish putting the hubs in and getting everything done the way it's supposed to. So here we go. We're going to grab the hubs. I don't know how much of this we're going to be able to see, but all right, so what we've got to do now is see this seal right here? That seal, which is greased, needs to slide up on here.
All the way in the back. Okay.
And this hub doesn't, this edge of the hub will come right to here.
Oh, okay.
Yep, there we go. Watch your head, Tom.
Yep. Okay, hold on. Let me. Oh! Oh, shit. Watch my head, Tom! Hold that up there if you would for just a second, Tom. Okay, so this is... Let's tilt it down a little bit. Let me handle it for just a second. What am I?
Want to get the lift?
No, I mean it needs to go over that seal. Needs to go over. Let's bring it back out. So you see this seal back here?
Yeah.
It's got to go up here.
Right.
Let me put just a little bit of grease on it. All right, now that you can kind of see where this seal needs to go up over that, and we got that bearing into there. Well, that bearing went on there. Yeah. So we've got that. Watch your head here, buddy. All right, you ready? All right. Do you mind grabbing that bearing, sliding it on? Okay. Well, the good news is, now that we've got it this far, we can bleed the brakes.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm just saying that that drum is on far enough right now that I can bleed the brakes.
Brake pads will hit it.
Yeah, the brake pads will hit the drum. Voila. Now that's too tight for now. But that works for brake drum bleeding. Okay, well, hubs are on now. We've got to bleed the brakes, which is going to take us a few minutes, and hopefully we'll be able to see some of this. I'm not sure what we're going to be able to see, but this is a huge step to have the hubs back on this thing. So, camera's like, oh man, the quality of the cinematography here, spectacular. Off the hook, amazing. So,
Netflix, here you come.
Netflix, here we come. So yeah, you can see that we've got that on there. It spins really well. So we'll be back in a minute. Okay, we're going to start bleeding the brakes. Got the hubs on. Now it's time to start doing the initial bleed on the brakes. All right, go ahead and pump up the brakes. That one, those are both, they're both brakes. You can let off the gas, Tom. It'll idle. Isn't that just glorious? Okay, push. Okay. Is that all the way? Okay. Pump. Hold it down. I feel like I've got some leaking over here that I'm not going to really want.
Why do you think those connections came loose?
Oh, I don't think they were ever loose. I don't think I ever got them tight. So what I think happened, Tom, is this line going in was kinked or, kind of turned on its side just a touch. And as a result, it was not seating properly.
Okay.
And when I put pressure to it, when we put pressure to it, then it moved the flanges around a little bit.
Okay.
And when it moved them around, then it allowed everything to kind of, go to hell, make a mess. Okay. All right, those are dry. Those are dry. There was just the slightest little drip. Okay, Tom, would you... God, I really don't want to be under when you start it, but go ahead and start it or pump it up for me. See if you can get it pumped up. Is it pumped up? Getting there?
I think we got it.
Okay. No. Double checking, no leaks. Yeah, everything's dry under here, Tom. We're good.
Okay, good.
We're in good shape. So I think we may be to the point where we can close this up. God, if I was any fatter, Tom. Let's say the belly to bottom of hydraulic tank clearance ain't good.
It allows you to roll.
Oh, there's no rolling. There's no room, Tom. This is scooch and slide. Oh my God.
I'm such a wuss. This is killing my quads.
You didn't realize you were going to get a leg workout today.
Okay.
Leg day.
Down.
Okay. Coming up a little quicker.
Not really. That comes up.
Okay.
Right about now.
Okay. Here we go.
Down.
Okay. Tom, thank you very much. So for now, brakes are bled. Now it's time to
The wheel's on.
nut up. 3.5 inch. That's what that wrench is. It's 3.5 inch.
300 pounds.
So yeah, I want to say this nut that's on there goes to 200 foot-pounds, backs off a turn, goes spin it, goes to 50 foot-pounds, and then we go 300 foot-pounds on the outer nut. At this point in time, the other camera wasn't working. I'm not sure why, but
and so I didn't get much in the way of footage. All I'm going to do here is I'm going to take that inner nut, I'm going to tighten that down, set the bearings, back it off, then just set the final preload on that bearing, put in the lock washer that goes in the groove, and then tighten the outer jam nut, which is at 300 foot-pounds. I'm going to go ahead and just get that done. You can't really see it when I'm doing it on screen here. So I'm just going to get it done, and then we're going to get it out and take it for a test drive.
It is time to take this thing for a drive. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Okay, now that is a test drive, a long one, but the project is finally finished. Carburetor, exhaust, and an absolute complete down to the axle rebuild of the brakes. They work amazing, couldn't be happier with them, and I just wish I would have done this a year ago. I didn't realize it could run this well. So this is finished. I'm off to the next project. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, please like and subscribe so that you see the rest of the projects coming up. And remember, don't be afraid to get out there and get your hands dirty. Try something new. We'll see you on the next one.